Okay, hi everyone, welcome back. And it has been a minute since we talked about Cardano's price chart, and I think now we are looking extremely bullish. Why is that? Couple of reasons. Number one, let's go on H4 time frame. Maybe it's best to put the chart on logarithmic. There we go. What do we have off of the lowest low? I'm thinking this might be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave up into a larger degree wave 1, followed by a correction for wave 2. And what's next if this scenario is happening? You know what? A massive move up into wave 3 and 4 and 5. Also, this move down, in my view, actually does have all the right characteristics of a corrective movement. Why? Because it's actually a very slow and choppy move. Let's measure it timing wise from this point to about the lowest low down here. This move down took us about 202 days. On the other hand, this strong move on the upside only took us about 33 days. So what's the message? I think this means despite having way more than enough time, almost 7 times more, bears in this phase absolutely failed to pull the price all the way back down to these levels, meaning bulls do still have the upper hand, and I believe soon they are going to take charge and just send the price higher and higher. This is the first reason for why am I so optimistic in Cardano. The second reason, let's go on another chart, maybe from Coinbase. You see, if you check out Kraken's chart, you realize that this shadow is ever so slightly a bit longer. However, when you go on some other charts, you realize that it actually looks like this. And why is this important? Because I think there's a good chance that in Cardano, we are having probably a Wyckoff accumulation pattern. This can be our first test. This can be our second test. This is probably our final move down. And this means the low is finally in. And right now we are on our way to have yet another magnificent phase of the bull run. This is a very important reason in my view to be optimistic in ADA. Do we have some more reasons? The answer is absolutely yes. Let's zoom in more and see what is happening in terms of Elliott's wave. So let's just go around here first, excuse me. If you want to argue that we're going to have our final low around here, I don't know, let's say this is like a very important support area, then okay, fair enough. Off of it, then you need to be able to find a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave. This specific example is an impulse. Rules for it are, we should not have overlapping of the waves between wave 2 and 4, and in any kind of 5 wave, or wave 3 is simply not allowed to be the smallest wave. And in terms of the sub waves, you know what's going on. 5 wave up into wave 1, 3, and 5. There we go. And for wave 2 and 4, we can have different counts. Let's say, sure, WXY into wave 4. Let's just adjust the waves. And yep, let's say ABC into wave 2. Now let's go on the live chart and see what is going on starting from the lowest low and why am I so optimistic. Maybe it's best to go on like 15-minute time frame. Okay. Here's the thing, I'm thinking this is probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave up into a wave 1. After it, we are having correction for wave 2, a strong move into wave 3. This might be an ABC or possibly a WXY in form of a double zigzag. Actually, I do think this is a double zigzag into wave 4. And now we might be on our way to have a massive move into wave 5, which for its sub waves, we probably have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, here's a very important point. I think this white 5 wave up is actually into a larger degree wave 3, and what's next? Correction for 4, another move into wave 5. In other words, here is what I'm trying to tell you. In Cardano, right now, seems like that we are absolutely on the bullish track and there's just simply nothing to be worried about. Now, what happens after a 5 wave up? You know what? We are going to have a move on the downside. However, even if we get that move, I'm not really going to be mad at all because that's just simply part of the bullish process. Because on a higher degree, I think this might be the bull run setup. This can be 5 up into 1, followed by a move down, probably a very slow and choppy move on the downside, a correction into wave 2, and what's next? Massive move up into wave 3 and 4 and 5, and some very good gains are going to be made probably in this phase into our wave 3. So in ADA, overall, I think most signs are looking very optimistic, and we can have a very solid argument for the final low being in, and any kind of move down, assuming that we identify the right subwaves, is just going to be a temporary setback in order to gather the fuel for the next major move on the upside. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in Cardano's chart. Anyway, if you found any value in my content, I would really appreciate if you like this video and consider subscribing to my channel and follow me on Twitter. And if you want more, maybe you want a complete analysis for your own specific crypto, or maybe you want to learn some decent TA in order to be able to make good money in the markets, you can become a member and ask me anything you want. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.